if you're interested in learning how to fight with an axe, we've got a quick micro workshop, so to speak, for you. A lot of people tend to think that if you are just fighting with an axe solo, like without a shield or anything else, you are literally effed, but you're not. Especially not against swords, like most people tend to think. There are a lot of ways to block with an axe without using the shaft. And yeah, my friend will show you how that's possible. And it's going to be painful, therefore I'm wearing a steel-plated gauntlet as to not mess up my hand completely.
Okay. So, first of all, the biggest mistake that I can make if I defend against a sword is to seek the blade. He is always nimbler than me, and I have no chance. Especially because the point of balance on his sword is way in his favor to do all the quick and nimble movements, whereas the point of balance in the axe really lends itself to hitting hard.
Yep.
However, there are some things that I can do to make my life easier. So, first of all, I want to defend with the head of the axe. I will not seek the blade, rather I will seek the hand or the arm where the strike is coming from. This is a much bigger target for me to actually find. And also, if I stop him at his wrist, there's no way that he can actually...
I mean, I can sort of hit him here, but this would hit me with considerable force. And if you imagine how Vikings, for example, fought, yes, I know they didn't use a Langmesser, but just imagine this being a Viking-style sword. If you imagine how, for example, Vikings or Saxons fought, they didn't have that much armor on them. So if you score a hit on your opponent right here, maybe even hit with a more pointed axe head, then the fight would be over almost immediately. Most likely my weapon would just drop out of my hand and then I would be killed.
And as I said, I have many options. I can actually aim for the wrist.
Yeah, this stops me.
Definitely stops him in any way. If I miss the wrist though, I still can opt for the elbow, which is inconvenient at least.
Yeah, it is.
If I have a really long axe, just pretend it's a two-handed axe, I can also go for the shoulder or for the armpit.
Oh, yeah, you feel that. This is thick padding, and he didn't use a lot of force. Imagine this being sharp, guys. It would be so incredibly scary.
And again, this makes it way easier for me to do something because I use all the space, the little space that I have here, and make my target actually bigger.
What would you do against thrusting though? Because I've heard, and many people think that if you are trying to defend against a sword thrust or a spear thrust, you will most likely not be able to succeed and will most likely be killed. What do you think about it?
Well, there are a few different options. Obviously, thrust, I will not like them in any way. However, I will basically do what I do with a sword. So let's just freestyle. I'll give him slow options and increase the speed bit by bit, and you'll just see what he's able to do to come up with creatively. We haven't talked this through before. So I will still try to do something with the head. Maybe actually strike to the side. Do some focus.
Yep. And take a look and focus especially on what he's doing with the axe when he's fighting me. He is perfectly controlling my weapon. This is a scary tool of the right hands. Keep that in mind when watching the next little sparring segment. Yep. I mean, I'm still at a pretty massive advantage because I have this kind of cross guard here and my nagel. But even with these, if we were actually fighting with sharp weapons, with real weapons, this would most likely be what it would look like. We wouldn't be trying to go in like we do in HEMA, just do the big strikes and forget about it, because you could receive a counter hit and just die. We would be really careful when fighting. Would be very nimble, quick little wrist movements, quick little shoulder movements to try and edge out, a little advantage that can give you the win. But you're always close to death. So if you use this as a controlling tool, first and foremost, you will succeed way better.
And some theoretical options that I noticed against the thrust, which are admittedly hard to pull off, but things that if you train hard enough, I guess you can pull off, is that if I have a thrust, first of all the deflection, because there's no edge contact on the shaft whatsoever. And I'm in a very good position for a counter attack. So
I'll do it slowly, but I'm doing them like I mean it. I put weight and force behind this. Yeah, this would be scary, dude.
Yeah.
I'll thrust to the face now. Let's be careful. Yeah, yeah. You see, this was spontaneous. This is an incredible tool. Don't sleep on it.
I guess if there's something that you can do with certain longsword guards, and I think you can just to show off do it also with an axe.
Yeah, and I'm already come on. My hand would be wasted. I'm not glazing the axe in the slightest. This is a really good tool.
And then obviously I do not only have the head, but I can actually use the shaft if I'm behind the blade. So it's still,
yeah. And then
I can do stuff. It's really similar to Langmesser with the long hilt or with a dagger.
Yeah. Let's switch it up. I'm very used to fighting with an axe and a round shield, but if I imagine I don't have a round shield, maybe I lost it on the battlefield, I wouldn't be as screwed as people think. Yeah, let's do this slight blow section. I wouldn't be as screwed as people would think. I said that it's not feasible to fight with a lot of force. See, I cut his wrist. It's not feasible to fight with a lot of force, but that doesn't mean you couldn't. If I mix in my more forceful shots, with a, for example, a big pull, keep it there. With a big pull, this would be so devastating to your opponent. It's not that I say you should never use the big hits, but you can utilize them to your advantage if you're taking your energy with you, and then combine them with a quick blade at the tip to gain an advantage over your opponent. And this is very possible.